Will my ex come back? What's up, guys? It's Sabrina Alexis from anewmode.com, and today I'm going to answer that question for you. I don't know if there's something in the air, something in the water, something in the planetary alignment, but ex-back questions are all I've been getting these days. In my DMs, in my coaching sessions, it's been all about ex-back. And lately in my coaching sessions, I will share my thoughts, my insights. I will tell you how to increase your chances of getting your ex back. And then after we go through the whole thing, I keep getting the same question at the end, which is, but do you think he'll come back? Like, what are the chances? You think he'll really come back? And it always ends that way. I've gone through this so many times that I figure, we just have to make a video about it and just address it to the masses. It's almost like this feeling of they can't breathe, they can't relax until they know the answer, until they know if he's gonna come back or not. But I'm here to help. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about getting your ex back, so make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please tap that like button and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. Also, if you are in a position where you really want your ex back, you want to know that you're doing everything you can to increase your chances. Eric is my partner in A New Mode, we created an amazing system where we break down exactly what it takes to get your ex back, and we go into way more depth than I can go into in a 10-minute YouTube video. So if you are interested, you want to check that out, head over to easyexback.com. And also, if you have a question for me, something specific, something that I didn't cover in my video, you can talk to me one-on-one. We can talk over Zoom, on the phone. I can give you an email response. So you can set something up at anewmode.com/coaching, and I will include the link down below. Okay, so here's the thing. I can't tell you for sure if your ex is gonna come back. I can't, because no one can. It is unknowable. I can tell you how to get him. I can tell you how to increase your chances of getting him back. I can tell you if he's a waste of time and you shouldn't bother getting back together with him. And I can also tell you this. It is a waste of time and mental energy for you to be trying to figure out whether or not he's gonna come back to you. Why? Well, let's look at it this way. Before I answer your question, I have a question. Am I gonna be a millionaire? Tell me, Sabrina, am I gonna be a millionaire? Well, I guess we could argue that sure, there's a chance, there are avenues. Maybe this video will go viral. Maybe it'll get 100 million hits. Maybe one of my TikTok videos will go viral. Follow me, Sabrina Alexis, A&M. Maybe one of my books, I've written a bunch of books. Maybe one of those will just rocket to #1 on the charts. All these things could happen, but can you tell me for sure? Do we know for sure? No, we don't. But what if I was gonna take the perspective of, yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, look at all the evidence that I could be, that it could happen for me. How would I behave? Well, at first I would feel relief, like, oh my gosh, financial freedom. It's almost here, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Maybe I wouldn't have a budget anymore. Maybe I would just spend all my money, because who cares? It's all gonna come back. It's gonna come back times like infinity, In the end, maybe I'll just squander everything. And maybe, there's always a chance all that money will come back my way, but there's also a chance that I will end up with nothing and in massive debt. That's not a chance I'm willing to take. And that's not a risk you should take when it comes to getting your ex back. Now, how does it look like in that situation? It looks like you feeling really excited and hopeful at first. Like if I tell any of my clients, yeah, your ex is gonna come back for sure. He's coming back. She'll be like, really? You mean it? Oh my gosh, she's coming back. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And it will feel like relief. But then when that doesn't happen, that worry and that panic is gonna come back. If you invest in that reality, you'll have just nothing but ups and downs. Until eventually, if he doesn't come back, you're just left with nothing. You've wasted months, years of your life. And I've done this. I did this exact same thing. I wasted my youth, my early 20s, waiting for an ex to come back. And it never happened. Then I had to pick myself up and start anew, I had invested so much in that idea that he was gonna come back, we were gonna be together. And then when it doesn't pan out, there's nothing. But at the same time, maybe you tell yourself, no, my ex is gonna come back. Especially if you follow my advice, if everything that's in our Easy Ex Back system, and the link is down below, you'll increase your chances. So maybe it will come back. Maybe it won't be for nothing. But again, it is a risk. It is a risk. Now, I just want to mention law of attraction real quickly. I'm really not gonna go into it in this video. I did a Q&A on my Instagram, and I was getting so many questions about law of attraction and manifestation. And I feel like, I don't know, these things kind of tie into each other. And if you guys want me to do a whole video on manifestation, law of attraction, I can do that. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have dabbled in it a little bit, and I have seen some results in my life. But I don't ever think it's a smart idea to just invest entirely in one particular outcome. Now, in terms of like, let's say being a millionaire, I think you can have like an abundance mindset. Like for me, I want to produce and I have that mindset of like, yeah, maybe this all will be massively successful. I don't know, whatever. I mean, success is like, how do you measure success? I mean, for me, it's success for me that like I can work for myself, that I'm self-employed. Everybody has their own standards of success. So I have that like abundance mindset. You can have that optimistic mindset, but I wouldn't attach it to a person. I wouldn't use manifestation to like bring your ex back. I would say focus your energy on, okay, I'm gonna visualize being in a relationship that makes me feel fulfilled and happy. Maybe it will be with your ex, maybe it will be with some new guy, but I wouldn't just pin it on this one outcome because you set yourself up to be massively disappointed if you don't get what you want. So the point is, you should only engage with thoughts that serve a positive purpose for you. Right now, in this present moment, and you live in the present, you don't live in the future. Maybe in the future, your ex will come back and everything will be great, but we're not in the future, we're in the present. Right now, it doesn't really serve you to hold on to the hope that yes, he is gonna come back. I feel like people come to me for these answers because I am a relationship expert. This is what I've been doing for over a decade now. And they want me to like look into some crystal ball and give an answer with crystal clear clarity. And I can give you like percentages. Like there are some cases where I'm like, yeah, most likely he will come back and it'll work, but only if you make these shifts, make these changes, these mindset shifts. Because the rule of thumb with X-Back is if it didn't work, it won't work unless something significant changes. And change takes time and it takes some work. And no one ever wants to work, but oh wow, I just had a Kim Kardashian moment there. You know what I mean though? Like doing the inner work is hard. Nobody wants to like dive in there and like deal with their garbage, you know? We want things to just magically work out. And if you do that inner work, and I teach you how, I mean, we teach you on anumo.com and our newsletter and all of our material. It's not so hard. It's not so scary. You can do it. Then you increase your chances of getting your ex back and getting that outcome that you want for yourself. Anyway, I can't tell you with certainty, but I know like that feeling that you crave. This really just reminds me when I was 17, I worked at BB. Remember BB? At BB in the mall. And I was dating this awful, awful guy. It was such a toxic relationship. And we broke up so many times, but I think after this breakup, he had this girl that was his best friend and she was in love with him, but he wasn't into her. And I don't know, I guess things happened with them one night and she was so excited because she loved him so much. She took his phone, texted me from it and was like, just letting you know, like you and we'll call him Kyle are done. Love, Jess. And that's how he broke up with me. But anyway, I remember coming to work and I was so sad and I was devastated. And like the other girls that worked in the store, like one of them in particular was like, he'll be back. He'll be back on his hands and knees. And that instantly just made me feel better. Like the whole day, I was literally like, I was on the floor working my shift and I would like run to the bathroom to cry and then I would like get myself together. And after she said that, I was like just so happy the rest of the day. I was like, he's coming back on his hands and knees. That's what Jillian told me. He's gonna come back on his hands and knees. I was excited. And she was right. He came back. And you wanna know something? It was a garbage dumpster fire. I never should have invested in that being an outcome because he was a trash bag of a human being. And the second breakup damaged me even worse than the first breakup. But the point is I remember that feeling of relief and I know that that's what you want. But what I'm trying to get you to see is that that isn't what you should want. You should be looking at the bigger picture, which is this the right guy for me? And if you truly believe in your heart of hearts that it is, then do the work on yourself, get to a place where you can be in a healthy relationship, where maybe you could see if the issues between you are fixable. And if they are, you increase your chances of getting back together with him. And if he's the right guy for you, it will come together. And if he doesn't come back to you, just means he's not the right guy for you. Instead of asking, can I get him back? You should be asking yourself, how can I move forward? It feels counterintuitive. There's always resistance whenever I say this to anyone because they're like, I don't want to move forward. I want to stay where I am and I want to be with him. But he's not here right now. You set yourself up to win if you move forward. Because then what's going to happen? Either he'll come back and he'll want to get back together. Great. Or you will have already started the moving on process. So you're already moving past this. You're not stuck. You're not stuck obsessing over this guy who doesn't want to be with you. At least you're moving on. And then you open yourself up to meet new guys and to meet a guy who is the right one for you. They say time heals, but that is a myth. You have to do the work with time or else you're going to stay in the exact same place. Okay, so now let's get a little more concrete because I know that's what you came here for and I always want to deliver. I am going to share some ways to know that the chances of your ex coming back are higher. Again, don't invest in that outcome, but if this will give you some relief, you'll know that, okay, if your guy checks yes to these boxes, then most likely he will come back. Number 1, you were the one that broke up with him. Okay, if you were the one that broke up with him, it means he may not have necessarily wanted to break up. Maybe now he's giving some resistance because he's like, oh, well, you broke up with me, so I don't want to get back together. But if that was the case, chances are high that he still has strong feelings for you, and all you'll really need to do is a sincere apology and also showering him with tons of appreciation. Men crave appreciation. That is the love language of pretty much all men. That and physical touch. I mean, you don't even need the 5 languages book when it comes to men. And maybe women are a little more complicated, but men crave appreciation more than anything. So if you maybe realize the error of your ways, maybe you realize you were taking him for granted, shower him with appreciation, you'll get back together, you'll be fine. Number 2, it ended on friendly terms. Some breakups can be downright vicious and nasty, and you could say the most horrible things to each other. And sometimes, like, you could forgive, but you can't forget. It's hard to forget certain things. If it ended in an all-out war like that, there might just be too much resentment, too much residual resentment where you can't move past it. It reminds me of Love is Blind season 2. If you haven't watched it yet, spoiler, but I mean, it's been out for a while, so whatever, just like skip 20 seconds. But it just reminds me of Love is Blind with Natalie and Shane, where she was ready to marry him. And the night before their wedding, they got into a big fight and he said, I hate you. You are the worst thing that ever happened to me. She couldn't get past it, ruined their relationship. So if you have like an ending like that, there are some words that you just can't get past. Because when someone says something like that, it's not always just like in the heat of the moment. It's because they're having a lot of emotions, a lot of resentment, and it could come from all sorts of places. And it's been brewing for a long time. He didn't just say something like that on a whim. So good for her for not marrying him. Anyway, if it ended with, love and respect, if it was a conscious uncoupling, as Gwyneth would say, then your chances are a little bit higher. Number 3, the reasons you broke up don't exist anymore, or they're fixable. Maybe you broke up because you were going to colleges in separate states and now you've graduated, you're back in the same place. Maybe you broke up because somebody's job is, made them move to another state, but now it doesn't matter because we had a pandemic and most people are working from home still anyway, and we've all learned that like you can work remotely, so now you can be in the same place. Maybe he just wasn't ready to settle down, but now he is. Now all of his friends are getting married and having kids, and he realizes that that's really nice, and now he's in a place where he's ready. If your issues are solvable in these ways, then great. Sometimes, though, there are just non-negotiable deal breakers, and those are just major, major hurdles to overcome. So your chances probably aren't so high in those cases. Number 4, you've both matured. Like I said, if it didn't work, it won't work unless something significant changes. And usually the change has to come from both sides. So often women take all the responsibility for a relationship. They think they're the ones that have to fix everything. And they think that like if a relationship fails, it's their fault entirely. It's not the guy's fault. And this is just untrue. I mean, both people need to be putting in the work, not just work into the relationship, work into themselves. If he has issues to deal with that were causing problems in the relationship, then he needs to deal with that. You can't fix his problems for him. Think about how hard it is to fix ourselves. Now imagine it's so much harder to fix somebody else. I mean, we have full control over ourselves. So that's just a losing battle. If you see that like, okay, he has commitment issues because his ex-girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend, he's traumatized. Okay, I'm sorry for him. That is traumatizing. That's horrible. But this is not your cross to bear. This is not your problem to solve. It's his. He has this issue, so it's preventing him from committing to you. And you're like, okay, well, he has a valid reason for his commitment issues. And if he could overcome that, then it'll be great. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's true. But you can't do it for him. He needs to find the right therapist, the right coach, the right whatever to help him process his trauma. But if you guys have done that work on your own internally, then yeah, I mean, you guys know, like I married an ex-boyfriend and it took 10 years from when we dated until we dated the second time. And there was so much work going on both ends because we crossed paths multiple times throughout the course of those 10 years and it just never aligned. It only came together once we were both in a good place, like mentally, emotionally, where we could be together. And I just want to add though that like the work I don't ever want to give the impression that like, okay, just love yourself and then you'll have a relationship. Just fix yourself and then you'll have a relationship, everything will be perfect. Because once it's like you can go as far as you can as a single person, but once you're in a relationship, then you realize there's so much more work that needs to be done. So it never really ends. There's never like a finish line that you just cross. And number 5, the stars align. Sometimes it's all just in the timing. It definitely was in my case. Sometimes the timing is off. But if the timing is off with the right person, then they're the wrong person, at least in that given moment. Like, yeah, you could see, okay, we have chemistry, we have this, we connect, everything's amazing, but now it just isn't the right time. Then now's not the right time. What do you want to do? Like, again, like you can't invest in something when you just don't know how it's all going to unfold. And there is a chance that it's just not going to work out. And then what? You're just going to like sit around for 3 years while he gets his startup up and running to see if he'll be a success. And then what if he's not? And what what if he says, no, I need to try a new project and it's going to take a few more years and I can't commit until I get that off the ground? You don't do that to yourself. It's just a waste of time, waste of energy, and a waste of your youth. And if you're not super young, then it's still a waste of your youth. It's a waste of your life. Life is too short for this nonsense. So if you check yes to most of those, then your chances are high. But again, not going to get anywhere unless you go through the process. The process includes following the no contact rule, really working on yourself, really doing an inventory, looking at what worked, what didn't work in the relationship. And we break it all down in our Get Him Back system. You can download it right now at easyxback.com. If you have more questions, you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can set something up at anumo.com/coaching for daily relationship advice into your inbox every day. Sign up for our newsletter, anumo.com/subscribe. Follow me on Instagram so you can vote on the next topics that we do. I mean, I'm always inspired by you guys with the videos that I do. So follow me at A New Mode, and I will see you in the next video.